Hi, this is me. I've been trying to get the webcam on my computer to work in different browsers, and it's only working in Chrome right now. For the other ones, it's flattening the image, or what sometimes people call stretching. But the camera's basically shooting in a 4:3 ratio and then stretching it out to the 16:9, and just basically making everything in the screen look really flat. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. I wanted to make a kind of a vlog style video, which I've probably done many times before and never really realized I was doing it. But what the heck, I'm really bored, and I just opened my second bottle of Red Stripe Lager, which is actually one of my favorite Jamaican beers. It's actually the only Jamaican beer that I know of anyway. Cheers. So, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the difference between nerds and geeks, because I think there's some misunderstanding about the difference between the two, and there are some important differences. I myself am a nerd. I have been most of my life. Might have been a part of my life where I was trying to, disown that identity, but the truth is I'm a nerd. I'm definitely a nerd, and I really want to make it clear that nerds are different from geeks. So how are they different? First of all, nerds tend to be born with above average intelligence. Not geniuses or anything. They just tend to be a little bit brighter than the average person. And then they will grow up and inevitably learn calculus. Okay, all nerds learn calculus. They just do. There's no exceptions. Now compare this to geeks. Geeks, on the other hand, tend to be born with average intelligence, and they very infrequently ever learn calculus. When they do learn it, they do poorly, and after the final, they forget everything they learned, or they forget what little they learned. So that's one difference right there. It's just the calculus factor. The second thing has to do with video games and collecting stuff, crap really, and getting obsessed with a lot of really stupid things, that kind of stuff, and just like in terms of video games, there's also like role-playing games, like fantasy. Oh, my monitor just dimmed. There we go. Fantasy stuff, and nerds do all of that, but they don't do it any more than your average person does. Just the average person walking down the street. Nerds are about the same as those. Geeks, on the other hand, do it in total excess. I mean, we're talking like 10 times the average in terms of all that stuff. It's very, very geeky stuff. All the games, just the video games, role-playing games, and card games, and the Dungeons and Dragons crap and all that. That's all geek stuff. Nerds do it too, but no more than the average person. Now, moving on. The third thing, perhaps the most important, is nerds all grow up eventually. It takes a few of us a rather long time. I know it took me a really long time to grow up, but they always do. Geeks, on the other hand, never grow up. They just don't. None of them. They're eternally these, prancy little Peter Pan boys that just, don't want to grow up because they're just having too much fun being, adult children of other adult children, maybe. I don't know. So I think, and this reminds me of, the mother's basement analogy, which is probably the easiest way to understand the difference, is that a nerd will frequently store a lot of obsolete computer equipment in his mother's basement, and then he'll go back home to his $1,000,000 house, which is completely uncluttered. A geek, on the other hand, will live in his mother's basement. And he'll be down there with his one computer that his mother purchased for him at Costco, probably an HP. And that pretty much sums it up. That's the difference between you know the the geeks and us, you know, the nerds. So I hope this was informative. I really doubt that it will get watched at all. If I find that this has 10 views in a year, it'll be amazing. I mean, 10 views aside from the 10 times I view it myself. So that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, if you did. Bye-bye.